everyone, welcome to another Animation Friday, and today I thought it would be interesting to discuss another Charlie Brown episode that a Minion previously covered, and that is a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I thought this would be appropriate to cover since Thanksgiving is next week, and since this revolves sort of around the holiday and is within the realms of animation. I think it's probably one of the few animated shorts that at least covers Thanksgiving. So let me briefly address sort of what this episode sort of entails, and also give you sort of a background as to how it's kind of different from the Halloween special, and kind of give you a perspective in regards to sort of Charlie Brown in general as an animated show. So basically there is a lot more focus in this special, unlike the Halloween special. There's a clear plot, and it doesn't really meander into different scenarios. It just sticks to one scenario and doesn't really drift. So that, I think, is something that makes it stand out, because basically what ends up happening is that Peppermint Patty, who is one of the main characters of the Charlie Brown TV show, ends up inviting some other characters, one named Franklin, another named Marcy, I believe, and she invites them to Charlie Brown's house for Thanksgiving. And Charlie Brown isn't all too enthused for putting on a Thanksgiving, because he has problems in the cooking department. So, but he still ultimately decides to make a Thanksgiving for the guests that sort of invite themselves, technically. Peppermint Patty being the mastermind. And he also includes Linus and his sister, Sally, I believe is her name, and Snoopy as well. And Snoopy plays a different role than I'd say in the Halloween special, because he actually helps set up for the event, and there's a lot of little shenanigans that happen between him and Woodstock, who is like the little bird that you'll see sometimes with Snoopy. And it's nice to see them sort of play off each other in sort of a comedic and friendly way. So that's, I think, parts of the episode that make it fairly enjoyable. Also, the interesting thing too is unlike the Halloween episode of Charlie Brown, this one actually puts in a little bit of a moral, and revolves sort of around the sort of virtues that are associated with Thanksgiving. And you'll sort of see this unfold as the episode goes on, and you'll sort of see how Charlie Brown ultimately doesn't really make a really traditional Thanksgiving, and you'll sort of see the circumstances and why. But really, that's at the heart of the episode for the most part, and you'll sort of see what ends up resulting. But I think it does what a short episode should do as a cartoon. It has got cute moments, funny moments, and still a sense of heart and simplicity. And I think for this cartoon, it works really well. I think it's very enjoyable. And I think it's sort of overlooked, because usually they talk about the Halloween or the Christmas Charlie Brown special, but I think the Thanksgiving one is actually one that is worthy of a huge recommendation. Is it a little, Charlie Brown-ish? Like, does it have those kind of Charlie Brown-ish moments? Yeah, it does. First thing you see is him kicking the ball. But luckily, that only happens once in the intro, and we never see her character again. And I believe her name's Lucy, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we don't see her throughout the rest of the episode. So I think it does stick to all of the sort of traditional Charlie Brown bits, but I think it still has this sense of heart to it that I think sort of strays away from the traditional sort of Charlie Brown, I guess, formula, even though there's little bits and pieces of it woven throughout. But I think it's definitely worth a recommendation if you're interested. As far as the animation is concerned, I almost want to say when I was watching it, I felt like that the animation was a little bit improved actually from the Halloween episode. The animation does feel a little bit more clear with the lines. Um, and it doesn't feel like there are bits that don't fit together. It did seem like that the animation um, did improve slightly, at least from what I could tell. But not by, I think, a huge significant amount. But I think still there is still things that I noticed that seemed to be at least a little bit more defined. But I think though that's really ultimately all I can say though in regards to this episode. It's pretty straightforward, and I think it still has all of those little things that make Charlie Brown stand out. But still, at the same time, I still think it's a unique episode because, again, it sort of approaches a moral. It focuses on Thanksgiving and sort of what it means, and at the same time, it's just very cute and fun and simple and it showcases itself, I think, fairly well for under a 30-minute cartoon. Unlike a lot of other cartoons now that sort of try to shove tons of humor in your face, the humor in this one, I think, is fairly light, even though there is some sort of slapstick, which I didn't really notice, like, really in the Halloween episode, there wasn't really too much slapstick. But it's nice to see this sort of slapstick happening here in this episode, in particular with Snoopy and Woodstock. But I think, though, that's really ultimately all I can say with really giving anything away when it comes to the episode. I think it definitely is worthy of exploration, and I don't think, even though it briefly addresses history, it doesn't really delve into it or explore or meander to it. So, if you're sort of expecting something like grandioso, I don't think you will get it out of this animated cartoon. But I think you will do get a sense of heart and sort of down to earthness that I think Charlie Brown offers if you're sort of interested in that kind of setup. But ultimately, I think that's really all I can say. But if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.